Hello, how are you? Welcome to Growth Talk with Walter. I'm obviously not Walter, but well, my name is ChiShamiso and I'll be your host for this episode as we officially launch Growth Talk with Walter. Walter, how are you?
How are you, ChiShamiso?
I'm fine, thanks. How has been life?
Life has been hectic, but in fact, we are preparing for the bigger launch, which is the Growth Talk with Walter.
Yes, exactly. So let's start talking about Walter before we go deeper into the podcast. Who is Walter?
Walter is a young Zimbabwean. He is a brilliant mind, in his humble opinion, because he has launched several, designs before. Particularly, you look at the Built for Success, which he has ventured in with Platinum FM for a year, and he since resigned from that one, launching the Growth Talk with Walter, which is the new and which is the bigger international show.
That's great. So you are a transformational speaker, right?
Yes.
Let's talk about that a little bit. Because for many years, we've only heard about motivational speakers and not really about transformational speakers. What's the big difference between a transformational speaker and a motivational speaker?
Okay. So basically, I think you don't really need to be motivated by a particular individual, but you need to be transformed. And that transformation becomes the motivation for you. So we are living in a society where motivational speakers are multiple and many. There are a myriad of them in our society. But look at the indicators. We have an 8 billion world populace. But at that particular juncture, we have growing poverty, we have growing unemployment, and above everything, we have, a stench of poverty in our streets.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for explaining. Let's now talk about the reason why we are here today. Growth Talk with Walter. Why Growth Talk with Walter and why now?
Okay, so basically I was looking at the world statistics, and looking at the world statistics, we are living in a world with 8 billion people or over 8 billion people, according to the world statistics. But most importantly, ChiShamiso, you should take into cognizance that we have over half of that figure in poverty. We have over half of that people in a decline, in a state of decline. So that calls for growth. What I call growth is not growth in terms of the population size. So we have a disequilibrium between the population size and what individuals have. So we have people in their numbers, multiple of them, thousands, billions, millions, but we have a problem and a problematic issue that we need to address. Are we growing these thousands? Are we grooming them enough? Which calls for the growth talk. Let's grow. You witness that we have people that are grown in size, grown in age, but not grown in terms of what they have, the assets that they have at their disposal. Be it academic, be it mentally, be it maturity. So the growth talk with Walter will address and unpack how to grow in those facets.
Thank you for explaining, Walter. So how is Growth Talk with Walter different from other podcasts or YouTube channels? Because we have had so many. Some just come for a few months and they disappear. How are you different?
The difference between Growth Talk with Walter and the multiple other YouTube channels and several podcasts that have been launched and that are there is that this Growth Talk with Walter simply has one mandate and one goal. It is to sit down with people that have made it in the past and to address how they made it. And that paving way, bearing in mind that the end result or the end product is to grow our audience. And I intend to target not just millions in Zimbabwe, but to target everyone in the world, to take everyone on board. This show is for everyone, be it in economics, be it in politics. I intend to sit down with ministers. I intend to sit down with private players, people, government officials, and many other people so that we discuss how they made it in their lives, and that also paving way for the growth of my viewers out there.
Okay. You mentioned the issue of age earlier on and growth. Let's talk about that a little bit, because if someone is 40, 45, they feel like it's too late for them to pursue their dreams or do what they want to do and achieve it. Let's talk about that a little bit. Growth and not having anything to do with age.
Okay. So basically, I feel there is a disequilibrium, or there's a misconception in our society whereby we see people saying if you are older, then that entails that you have maturity. But that is the greatest myth of all times. I would like to debunk it with all my energy. So the truth is, we have people that are 40 years, but they don't have a house. They don't have anything to show for it. They are 40 years in age, but they have nothing to show for it. Then we have people that are 20 years of age, but they have the financial resources. They are financially capacitated. And that shows that there is growth in the 20-year-old than the 40-year-old. But the 40-year-old is twice in terms of age. But he or she is also divisible twice in terms of what they have. So that calls for growth being not equivalent to what you call age. And I always say maturity is never equivalent to age.
Yeah, that's very true. I agree with you there. So Growth Talk with Walter. When is the first episode being aired, and what is the topic of discussion on the first episode?
Well, I think the first topic is today, and we're actually launching it. As we are launching, yes, we have to actually address to our viewers out there, because you can't just ordinarily launch a show without saying something that will change their lives. Yes. So today we'll speak of someone's success does not mean your failure. Someone's win does not necessarily mean you have to fail. So there's a problem, by the way, ChiShami, whereby we have people out there who think in order for me to succeed, someone has to fail. But the bag of success is bigger, it's broader. Everyone can fit in the bag. I love one political party which says our bag or our pocket is so big that everyone fits in. So in that regard, we should understand that we can all fit in success. You don't necessarily need to fight someone so that you win. We can all win. I used to be a high school student, and being a high school student, there was a moment whereby you realize, ChiShami, that we have other students who are too stingy with their notes. Why? Because anokundwa or ano pass, pass. So at the end of the day, it's all about passing. And if passing is the ultimate success, it means we can all win. We can all achieve our goals.
Well, you did mention the issue of high school. I feel like sometimes the education system is created in such a way that sometimes we are pinned against each other. Data number 1, data number 2, which means the next term I have to be better than him or her. So how can we then be able to succeed and watch the next person succeed as well without feeling bad about it, without being hurt that we are all succeeding?
I think the best answer to that is that they should be subscribers to the Growth Talk with Walter, because by the way, we're going to have thought-provocative conversations around how you should get out of yourself as an individual. You should not feel jealousy for other people's wins. You should also be there to celebrate and understand that your time is coming.
That's very true. So how many episodes are we going to be having? How frequent are these episodes going to be? Is it once a week, twice a week, once a month?
Well, it's every Tuesday. Every Tuesday, 12 p.m. we'll be delivering an episode. Yeah.
So watch out every Tuesday, 12 p.m. for a brand new episode of Growth Talk with Walter. As we finish this interview, do you have any special last words that you want to say?
Yes. So I would like to thank you, ChiShami, for having me and hosting me for this prestigious...
Thank you for having me as well, because it's your podcast.
But you're the host, and I'm your guest today. So we really thank ChiShami for your efforts. But beyond that, to everyone who's watching, watch out for the Growth Talk with Walter every Tuesday, 12 p.m. Not just that. Be ready as you engage with our conversations, as you watch, to change your life, to transform your life. Because at the end of the day, we want you into the broader bag of success, and to celebrate you. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Remember to subscribe. Remember to comment as well. And we've come to the end.